What's going on, everybody? Troy Rawlings here. Welcome to another exciting episode of Meet the. And I'm blessed to have the educational advocate, educator, speaker, author, TV show host, media consultant, and correspondent, and CEO of his own charter schools, preparatory schools in Bridgeport and New York, right?
Yes, sir. Bridgeport, Connecticut, and Harlem, and the Bronx, New York. Yeah.
Yes, please show your love for Dr. Steve Perry. How are you, brother?
Having the time of my life, brother. These are, as you say, the best of times and the worst of times. So I'm on the right side of the dirt. That means I'm winning.
That's right. That's right. Well, let's jump right into it. I just spoke to you about it. If your master's in social work, your doctorate in educational leadership, so obviously you have a pulse. You had a heart for the pulse of the community. Where did that come? When did you realize that you wanted to get involved with education, with like helping young people?
So education came later in life, but I wanted to be. The pulse of the community started real early. My mother was on a tennis association in our housing project, and from as far back as I can remember. And well, the association was really two women, but you get the point. And I would find myself at these meetings where they were fighting for stuff that I didn't feel like they should be fighting for. So I wanted to do something. And what that something was, I wasn't sure. Initially, I thought I wanted to be in politics because I thought that's what the leaders were. I thought leaders and politicians were one and the same. I've since learned that they are not. Leaders and politicians are often not one and the same. There are leaders and then there are politicians often. But I went to social work school with the expectation of running for office. I wanted to understand the community better before I even decided to become a politician. I wanted to know what I would be writing laws to protect or to uplift. And ran a homeless shelter in my hometown and saw a lot of cats that I grew up with there. Girls that I used to like, friends.
Now, was this Bridgeport or New York? Was this Connecticut or New York?
It was in Connecticut, a town called Middletown.
Connecticut.
Yep. And then along the way, I wondered what would happen if I got to the solution before it became a problem. And thus the educational experience came. I started a not-for-profit organization that worked with children who are going to be the first in their family to get a bachelor's degree in Upward Bound program. So started one of those. I went through it when I'm not just Hair Club president, I was also a client. So I went through an Upward Bound program when I was in high school. And as that went on, I recognized that I would spend all summer working with kids to fix the issues that the systems that I was sending them back into had created. So what if I started my own school? And I felt I could do at least as badly as these other people. I could suck as bad as they do. Like, how bad could I be? So,
right.
There it is.
So, come full circle, I could only imagine. Was it a hard process getting the funding? When you said, okay, start my own school, when you first thought about it, did you say I'm going to go into a rec center or I'm literally going to get a building and start a school?
Every single step of educating Black and poor people is hard. The United States of America is designed to make sure that if you are African American and or Latino and you're poor, but you could just be Black or Latino and not poor, you are not supposed to gain access to a quality education. I'll give you a for instance. Today I was on the phone with one of our states that we're in, and I am going back and forth with them. They're comparing our school's performance. And when it works against us, they compare us to the district that we're in. When it works for us, they compare us to the state. When we are above the state, they compare us to the national. So no matter what, they can always find a way to say that our school is not doing what it's supposed to do. Yet on every single indicator, we're outperforming the district that we're in. And the answer was, but the district is such a low bar for you to compare yourselves to. But that district gets guaranteed funding, and I don't. So if that bar is so low, then damn it, shut them down and give me the money.
Give me the funding. That's right.
But we don't want to have that conversation because the United States of America was designed to ensure that Black people and Native Americans were never supposed to be seen as full citizens. Never. And it has been perpetuated year on year on year. And there are times when there are people who consider themselves our friends who perpetuate that system. Black people, Latino people, Latinas, white people who call themselves Democrats, people who say they are friends, they're consciously making decisions to put our children in settings that they know they're not learning.
Here's the thing, and I have to touch on this because I have people across every diaspora that watch this, and they be like, "Oh, well, this guy's not." No, he's totally true. That's why this week I mentioned, and for those that are watching now, we usually don't date this, and we try to keep it generic and this hat, but we're in quarantine season, COVID-19, and coming out of it, we had some crazy violent stuff going on. And I just posted something recently this week that said, "Look, people, we just have to get dangerous again." And dangerous doesn't mean that we go around taking lives. I'm just saying that at one point in time, it was dangerous for Black people to read and to vote. They were illegal. So if something was illegal, you are absolutely right. If that means to read was illegal for African Americans, they dang sure didn't expect Native Americans to do it, then I cannot agree with you more on what you're saying. There's no way the stats are there to show it. Everything, so we're working in the system from behind. So with all that going on, how is it that your children are achieving at such a high level at your charter schools?
Because we push the adults who work with them to see them beyond where they are into where they need to be. And when we can't get those adults to sign on, we part ways. I don't have to keep anybody I don't want to keep in our organization. If you're not about that life, you can kick rocks, period.
Quick to hop, kind of slow, quick to hire, but definitely quick to fire. Get them out of get them out of there if they're not a part of the vision.
I'll say it this way. It's not even about firing. It's about recognizing that we don't have the same goals. I don't have to break up with you to recognize that I have to love you from a distance.
Right. And so, and I know you have we got to do a part 2 of this because it's a bunch of stuff I want to talk to you about. So we definitely have to do a part 2. I know we have you have a busy schedule, and I thank you for taking time out. But we're at a point now where distance learning has come into play, where online schooling and all these things. How has that affected what you do, or has it been even more of an asset to what you've already been doing?
Greatest thing to happen to American education since the advent of American education. We've democratized information for the first time in the country's history. Doesn't matter where you live, work, or play. You can now learn from some of the top educators on earth, living or dead. Whoever's got a video, whoever's got content, you can throw those together to make a class. You can put together assessments, and you can teach. Anyone, you can learn from Stephen Hawking and Albert Einstein and Jufu at the same time. You could learn from all three of these brilliant minds. You can take what Juwan's is doing now, put it with what they're doing, create a astrophysics class that's rooted in Black male subconscious. I mean, you could just just get funky, just like do whatever you want to do. But no one of those three men could teach that course.
Because they were coming from their own perspectives, their own knowledge. And once you limit your knowledge, you limit your expansion on that.
But
All
as
right.
brilliant, as beautiful as their minds are, we could do better than ever. So, brother, I want to make sure we do this again. Please reach out. I would love to
I want you to give the information, but I know some people are interested. I know some people are knowing, and you establish and do consulting and help people establish schools around the nation, around the world as well.
This is true.
So give everybody information. I'll put the information below as well before you get out of here.
They can go to @Dr. Steve Perry. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, Facebook, all those things. Same thing.
Thank you, Dr. Stephen. We'll talk again. We're going to do a part 2 very soon.
Looking forward to it. All right, peace.
Peace.